This is the Daily Brief for Friday, 21 August. 12 stories in 8 minutes: money, politics, jobs, and the machines. Let's go.
America's biggest retailer is showing signs that shoppers are running out of cash. Walmart's sales growth just hit its slowest pace in more than 6 years. The retail giant blamed rising fuel prices draining customers' wallets, especially lower-income shoppers. Sales at comparable stores grew just 2.6%, excluding fuel, between May and July. Once petrol prices topped $4 a gallon, customers pulled back hard and focused spending on essentials only. The company is fighting back with 11,000 price cuts called rollbacks across its entire range. But here's the catch. It's using up to $3 billion in tariff refunds to fund those cuts. Those refunds came from duties Walmart paid after President Trump's tariffs were ruled unlawful. The company's chief financial officer says the price cuts are already lifting transactions and unit sales in food and staples. Walmart warned the environment remains uneven. Pharmacy sales also weakened during the quarter, adding to the slowdown.
America just hit a grim financial milestone, and the warning signs are flashing red. U.S. national debt passed $40 trillion this week, a milestone that took nearly 200 years to reach just $1 trillion back in 1981. Debt is now rising by $90,000 every second, or $7.8 billion a day. It took just a decade to double from $20 trillion since 2016. Interest payments on government debt are now 15% higher than last year and account for almost 20% of all tax revenue, larger than the entire defense budget. Long-term interest rates in America are at multi-decade highs. The bond market is demanding higher returns as investors grow wary of the scale of U.S. borrowing and competition from tech firms spending massive sums on AI. Public spending surges under both Trump and Biden administrations, combined with tax cuts and crisis responses, have created this perfect storm. The U.S. is nearing its $41.1 trillion debt ceiling.
Defense investment is creating a weapons manufacturing boom across the UK. The UK defense sector is experiencing significant growth, with weapons manufacturing jobs rising by over 50% in the past year. This expansion reflects increased investment in defense capabilities across the country. The growth is helping to strengthen Britain's industrial base and supporting skilled employment. Defense spending continues to play an important role in the economy. The sector remains a key part of Britain's manufacturing and engineering industries.
An AI training data startup just quintupled its revenue in 8 months on explosive demand. Micro1, a 4-year-old data labeling startup, expanded its gross annual run rate from $100 million to $500 million in just 8 months. The surge shows AI demand for training data is nearly bottomless. The company retains roughly 60 to 70% of that revenue, putting net run rate between $150 and $200 million. It still lags bigger competitors like Mercer and Handshake, but shows the market has room for multiple players. Micro1 is increasingly generating synthetic data without human involvement, such as automated video descriptions. Some datasets it creates can be sold to multiple customers, driving gross margins as high as 80 to 90%. Founder Ali Ansari said the company does not sell its data to Chinese model makers, unlike some competitors. He criticized rivals for selling millions of dollars worth of data to countries the U.S. is in adversarial competition with. Researchers hypothesize that future AI spending on data could eventually rival spending on compute itself, suggesting the boom will continue.
French police tactics are becoming a real threat to small boat crossings. French authorities intercepted 185 potential crossings, involving 4,300 migrants this summer, over 4 separate weeks using new techniques. French police also stopped 12 dinghies at sea, marking a dramatic shift in strategy. Previously, authorities allowed most dinghies to head toward the UK once launched because of the risk involved in deep water interception. Footage shows French officers racing across beaches in jeeps to stop launches. Once boats are abandoned, officers slash them lengthways with a knife. The Home Office credits a UK-France border security deal agreed 3 months ago, which included additional funding for French authorities. Since the deal, 61% of small boats have been intercepted, up 5% compared to last year. Channel crossings are down about 40% compared to last year, but thousands still get through. 250 migrants arrived on Monday alone, with over 14,000 crossings since January.
Councils are desperate to plug a £4 billion black hole, and AI might be the answer. UK councils are increasingly turning to artificial intelligence as they struggle with a looming £4 billion financial black hole. 218 upper-tier councils will make a total of £3.2 billion in cuts this financial year. And cuts include reducing bin collection frequency, closing heritage attractions, ending bus routes, and in one case, completely removing sheltered housing support. Almost every council will raise council tax by the maximum 5%. Local government experts warn AI is not a silver bullet, and the sector faces ethical concerns around using the technology to assess care for vulnerable people. The sector remains on the brink of collapse, experts say. Councils predict they'll need to find a further £3.8 billion by the end of the 2027 to 2028 financial year, just to balance their books. A record 37 councils will receive exceptional financial support this year. Government funding for councils is still down on pre-2010 levels despite recent reforms. The cost and demand pressures for services like adult social care and children's services continue rising faster than available funding.
Quick break, your best videos are sitting there, an hour long, unwatched. Orion Digital cuts them into short clips people actually finish. Podcasts, talks and interviews, clipped and delivered ready to post. Find us at oriondigital.uk.
A British food icon is shutting down production and cutting jobs. Bernard Matthews Foods has confirmed it will close its processing facility on Shaftesbury Street South in Derby by the end of 2026. The closure follows continued significant financial losses. The company blamed external economic challenges including Brexit, COVID, conflicts in Ukraine and the Middle East, which have impacted the site and its supply chain. The decision came after consultations with employee and union representatives. This is the second major factory closure for the company in 2 years. Bernard Matthews previously announced plans to close a plant at its headquarters in Great Witchingham, Norfolk, where founder Bernard Matthews built his empire. The brand rose to prominence in the 1960s when Matthews became the biggest turkey farmer in Europe. He was famous for his catchphrase "Bootyful," and his success led to expansion into turkey Twizzlers and other products. The company still operates processing and production sites in Sunderland and Holton, Suffolk. Trade Union Unite has been contacted for comment on the closure and job losses.
Federal agents bust a plot to bomb New York State House. The FBI has arrested Jessica Bowie, 35, from Albany, who prosecutors say was planning to bomb the New York State House to kill lawmakers. She had previously pledged allegiance to the Islamic State group. Bowie allegedly told undercover agents posing as IS members, "I want to destroy as much of the building as possible and kill the senators." She selected the State House because she thought it would be an easier target than the White House. She repeatedly surveilled the Albany building and visited at least 5 times on reconnaissance missions. Bowie planned to use a food delivery bag to hide her bomb and selected nails specifically for their shrapnel effect. Undercover agents gave her $200 to buy bomb-making materials from Home Depot. She was arrested carrying a fake bomb, a defective gun supplied by agents, knives, and a written oath of allegiance to IS. Prosecutors say Bowie is a frequent social media user who has been banned from several platforms for violating terms of service. She has used social media to praise the September 11th terror attacks and espouse anti-American messages. She converted to Islam about 5 years ago.
New arrivals get blunt guidance on what's illegal in Britain. The Home Office has published a 9-page online booklet telling asylum seekers that rape, sexual harassment, and domestic abuse are illegal in the UK. The guidance covers respect in public, sex and consent, and gender equality. The booklet explains how UK laws and customs may differ from asylum seekers' home countries. It sets out that consequences for breaking the law include trouble with police, loss of asylum support, or damage to asylum claims. A section on gender explains that women in the UK have equal rights to men and do not need permission from a husband, father, brother, or any other man to work, study, travel, or make decisions. On sex and consent, the document states both people must agree to any sexual contact. It cannot be given if someone is asleep, drunk, or unable to respond. It clearly states, if you have sex with someone who does not want to, this is called rape. Prime Minister Andy Burnham said the government has a very clear principle that if you break UK law, you will be removed from the country. Removals of illegal immigrants are significantly up, he said. The latest figures show 93,525 asylum applications from April 2025 to March 2026, down 12% on the previous year.
Google launches a new tool to help publishers fight AI search traffic losses. Google is giving publishers a new button that lets readers mark them as a preferred source across Search, Discover, and Google News. The move is designed to boost traffic as AI search sends fewer clicks to the web. Readers can now push the button on a publisher's website to indicate it is a favorite source they want to see highlighted more often. Google made this interactive preferred sources button available for publishers to embed on their own sites. The company said people across the web had already selected over 345,000 unique sources through this method since May. In studies, Google found people are twice as likely to click through to a preferred source when available. Google also said readers will soon customize their Discover feed using natural language commands. Users can tap any three-dot menu and tell Google what topics they want to see more or less of, and the feed updates in real time. Android users will be able to customize their audio daily briefings in the Google News app as well. Google is not alone in turning to AI-powered feed tuning tools. Major social media apps have recently launched user-controlled algorithms, allowing people to fine-tune recommended content.
French food giant clears a €1 billion takeover of the British meal supplement maker. Danone's takeover of British meal supplement maker Huel has been cleared by the competition watchdog. The Competition and Markets Authority has given the €1 billion deal the green light. Huel was founded in 2015 by Julian Hean to provide nutritionally complete food products aimed at reducing meal times and providing essential nutrients. The company is based in Hertfordshire and has seen rapid growth. Danone agreed to buy Huel in March. The French firm said the acquisition will help it grow in the nutrition sector, while for Huel, it will drive international expansion and growth ambitions. Huel has expanded its range to include ready meals, nutrition bars, and health drinks, all plant-based. Dragon's Den star and podcaster Stephen Bartlett was previously a director of the brand. Danone owns a portfolio in the UK, including baby milk brands Aptamil and Cow & Gate, yogurt brands Activia and Actimel, and water brands Evian and Volvic. The transaction remains subject to final completion.
UK government backs Prestwick with £750 million. The UK government has announced substantial funding for aerospace jobs at Prestwick. £750 million has been committed to support the sector. The investment is expected to create and protect employment in the region. Industry figures have welcomed the backing as a significant boost for the area. Funding forms part of wider efforts to strengthen the UK's aerospace industry. The announcement comes as the sector continues to recover and develop new opportunities.
That's your brief. Every story here comes from a published report, and every source is listed below. Subscribe, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.